Hey, what a very good afternoon to you all. I hope we're all good. It's Friday. It's the 15th of December, 2023, just 10 days away now from the big day. And yet we're back to take a look at the weather patterns for the next few days and the all important lead up to Christmas. Are we still sniffing some snow around for parts of the UK? Well, let's find out shortly. Well, we start where we have done for the last couple of days, and we're going to keep the same format for consistency, and that way we can see if confidence is growing or decreasing. So high pressure has started to build in across the UK, but unfortunately it is a rather cloudy high. Yep, what's happened is the high pressure has set itself up to the south of the UK. It's sitting over the Bay of Biscay, but it's picking up rather a lot of cloud and murk, and unfortunately it's looking like this high pressure will be a rather cloudy one. It means that we don't get so much in the way of frost overnight, but yes, we certainly will not be getting wall to wall sunshine. And if we just take a little look around the cameras, this is the situation in Thurcroft in South Yorkshire at the moment. Stratocumulus, that's the name of this cloud. Very shallow deck of cloud, but it is, it is very difficult to forecast. It's very difficult to clear as well, especially around the winter solstice with a lack of coming incoming solar radiation. And much the same up there in beautiful Edinburgh. Those same clouds are obscuring the sunshine up in Scotland as well. But I'm pleased to say it is a largely dry day. If we just take a look at the current radar, it's dry across most parts of the country. Just up in the far north of Scotland, is there just some light drizzle, rain here and there, but perhaps some sort of heavier bursts up towards the Western Isles and the far northwest of Scotland. And we've seen that for the last few days. Right. Now, what we're looking at is the jet stream. This is where the changes are going to start coming in. So I've run the jet stream from Sunday. So we've got the high pressure sitting over the south of the UK, northern France, with the steering of those weather systems up towards the north, towards Iceland and down towards Scandinavia, turning them milder this weekend. But what will happen is if we just start to move this through, this is Monday, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday. Notice how it's starting to become a little bit further south again, and there's more of a westerly steer on this jet stream. So that's Wednesday the 20th. This is the 21st. This is the 22nd, and then this is the 23rd. By then, quite a strong narrow jet firing its way across the UK, quite strong, coming from a cold source up towards Greenland. So yes, that will be cold. So we are still on track for a cold spell in the lead up to Christmas. There is the risk of snow. We'll come on to that in just a moment by looking at some of the charts and some of the Ensemble snow depth spikes. Yeah, you can see that, yeah, it's still quite good agreement that we will be getting a cold spell. And then just coming into Christmas Day, the all important day, by then it's looking like the core of the jet is pushing away to the east. That's the core of the colder weather, with perhaps milder air coming in for the big day itself eventually. But I think where we mentioned yesterday, where those two air masses meet is where the potential for more in the way of wintry precipitation to occur. Right, let's now get looking at these temperature anomalies. So where will we start? Let's start on the 17th, on Sunday. It seems a fairly good starting point. So much of Northern Europe by this stage will be mild, very mild across Scotland. It's long been forecast. It's very welcome, and very mild across the UK on Monday the 18th. But we've seen in some of those charts a cold front just pushing in late on the 18th, and that marks the boundary between the very mild air and something a little bit cooler to the west. So that is a consistent thing that we have seen over the last couple of days. So yes, the transition to cooler weather will take place on the 19th being one of those days where a band of rain will push down across the country, introducing the mild, the cooler air, should we say, not milder, cooler. Right, by Wednesday the 20th and the 21st, it is now looking like these 2 days will be milder days, cloudier days with rain. I think earlier on in the week we were thinking that perhaps these were going to be quite cold days, but certainly it looks like these 2 days now, the 20th and the 21st, are going to be relatively mild days. The change starts to occur on the 22nd in the lead up to Christmas, just 3 days before. Notice by then that we're starting to draw in more of a west or a northwesterly air mass, and then by Saturday the 23rd, it's becoming quite notable. Some really quite chilly air by this stage, pushing down across the north of Scotland. Still mild in the south, but by Christmas Eve, there you go, the whole of the country is enveloped in cold air. So yeah, a little bit of a cold snap is on the way for sort of later next week. And if we just take a sneaky peek at Christmas Day itself, well, again, consistent with yesterday, if you remember, we were looking at cold air in situ across the UK with milder air pushing in from the west. So I think it's fair to say that, yes, where the boundary of these two air masses meet, that's the potential for wintry precipitation. As things stand, I think we're looking more at a Northern England northwards event, very transitory. But yes, we will come on to that. So what we will now take a look is at the, well, we'll move that over there. It always gets in the way, doesn't it? Right, let's start with Sunday. We'll run the GFS through, see what its take on the weather patterns are from Sunday through to Christmas Day. And as with yesterday, so we've got a little troublesome front just pushing across the north of England on Sunday during the day, but that kind of fizzles out, or it just certainly remains in situ across many northwestern parts of England and southwestern parts of Scotland, leading to a rather cloudy and drizzly day across the north of Britain on Monday. Still dry in the south, the area of high pressure still holding on just about, but it will be ebbing away. And then later on in the day, Monday the 18th into the 19th, noticed a more organised band of rain pushing down across England and Wales. That is the first cold front that is going to mark the gradual transition from very mild to cooler weather. And you can see that by looking at the isobars. Look at the isobars across England and Wales. The lines are coming in from the west-southwest, but look at the isobars across Ireland and Scotland. They're coming in more from the west-northwest. So that's the boundary between the very mild and the cool. So that's where the first change is going to happen. Right, we move into Tuesday. We look like we're bringing in a more persistent band of heavier rain at this stage across southern Britain. Some quite persistent rain to come there. That will push out the way, and then Wednesday looks like a generally mild day with outbreaks of drizzly rain across the western areas and a more organised band of heavier rain later on in the day across Scotland, pushing out to the North Sea. Notice that isobars are tightly packed, so next week will become increasingly windy. Right, by Thursday, another relatively mild day. There's no purples really appearing at this stage. A run of west-northwesterly breezes and further rain showers, especially near western coast, but mainly dry. Later on in the day, heavier rain reaches the north of Scotland, and then that starts to move southwards. And it's only then by Friday the 22nd that we start to draw in a colder northwesterly air mass, and with it we start to bring in wintry showers, and that can be denoted with the purple colours. Some quite heavy falls of snow, I would be thinking, on Friday the 22nd across many higher routes in Scotland, and perhaps also on some of the Pennine routes later on in the day. Saturday the 23rd, we maintain this cold northwesterly theme. Looks like another front pushing southwards will introduce even colder air to the north, so perhaps by Saturday the 23rd, more widespread snow showers, certainly across Scotland, pushing down into the far north of England, and these will push southwards throughout the course of the day, perhaps just getting towards the Peak District, towards the sort of like the latter half of the day, but milder in the south still with outbreaks of rain. But notice late in the day on Saturday the 23rd, even some wintry showers getting well down into Wales, well down into the Midlands as well. So yeah, the cold air is looking like it will arrive. And with it, yes, a drop in temperature and the risk of wintry showers. Right, we move towards Christmas Eve. This is at 6 o'clock, so yet still plenty of wintry showers, snow showers down the east coast of Britain, but to all intents and purposes at the moment, Christmas Eve is looking like one of those dry, fine, crystal, sunny Arctic sky type days, with just the showers, as I mentioned, down the east coast and over the northern mountains towards Scotland. Right, then I think we have to then start looking towards Christmas Day itself. And we've seen with consistencies that some mild rare will be trying to creep in on Christmas Day. And the 6 o'clock GFS run this morning certainly picks that up again. A band of rain pushing it across Ireland, coming into the west of the UK as it bumps into the colder air. Once again, we can see on Christmas Day, midday, there is outbreaks of sleet and snow on its leading edge from the north of England northward. So it's increasingly looking like any snowfall across the south, it's pretty much not going to happen, is it, at the moment? But things do change. But yeah, it's certainly going to turn cold, and we will be tracking this for a few more days, and then towards the end of the day, it's looking as though the mild rare on Christmas Day will be pushing that colder weather away. Right, let's have a look at the ensemble, shall we? Let's go to London and let's just check to see the consistency for the cold spell, because, it's fair to say that it could still not happen. We could stay mild all the way through. And taking a look at these GFS ensembles this morning for London, the upper air temperature, remember that we look towards sort of -5 and lower for cold spells in this sort of setup. And compared to where we were a couple of days ago, it is nowhere near as consistent, is it? The spaghetti is all over the place. We've still got that drop around the 18th to the 19th. But then, yeah, there's so many options still on the table that you really wouldn't necessarily call it one way or the other. But we base our models, or we base our forecast on the model information we get. So that's London. So yes, it's not as clear cut as perhaps it was a couple of days ago. Right, let's move up towards Manchester. We're going to look at that 850 HPA temperature again. We're looking for the -5 line. Yes, I think it's fair to say that the drop off is well been signalled around the sort of the 18th to the 19th, perhaps a little bit earlier than it was shown a couple of days ago. And it does drop towards -5. It has to be said. There's some cold members in there as well that we just keep an eye on, but it's not the universally tight clusters that we were looking at a couple of days ago, and there are still options all over the place. Still some fairly mild options in there as well. So, yeah, even for Manchester, a cold spell is not clear cut. And considering what we are still 10 days away from Christmas, we shouldn't be surprised. It's still a long way off in weather forecasting terms. We'll head up to Scotland. We'll go up to Inverness and take a look at the ensembles for there. Once again, yeah, we're showing the upper air profiles relatively high until the 18th. We've still got that drop off moving into the 19th. And then things do fall away. And that upper air, I think it is pretty fair to say, is generally colder up there across Scotland. But it's not clear cut. There are still a fair number of ensembles that are quite high, up towards 0, up towards 5. So once again, cold spell is only said with low confidence. Right, now we'll just start to bring this all to a close by looking at the snow depths. So we'll go to London again and we'll take a little look at the snow spikes. Are there any? Well, yes, there's still a few. It's still being shown from the 20th through to around about the 24th. 1 or 2 on the 26th, but perhaps not quite as many as there were yesterday or the day before that. Move further north towards Manchester. Yeah, I think again the snow spikes are still there. There's still a signal, the 20th through to the 25th, 26th. So we'll keep doing these forecasts all the time. There are a significant number of spikes showing. So once again, it is still on offer for Manchester. Perhaps not quite as confident as we were a couple of days ago. And we'll now move up to Inverness. Yeah, I think it's still pretty much, it's looking pretty solid up there for some snowfall at times from the 19th through to the 25th and even beyond that. So you would expect this across Scotland with any northerly air mass. They're first to get the cold, they're last to lose the cold. So yes, I'm not at all surprised by that at all. So Really, that's it in summary. I think it's probably fair to say that for the next couple of days or so, we're going to keep this rather dry, rather cloudy theme going. The changes start to occur next week. We start to bring in a few outbreaks of rain or showers, and then it's really from around Friday the 22nd that we're now looking at for the air to turn colder, cold enough for wintry showers, cold enough for definitely snow showers in the north. Will it get to the south, and how long will it hold on? And will that attack of mild air on Christmas Day result in a nationwide snow event? Or will it be restricted to the northern hills and the Scottish mountains? We will see. So we'll come back again in the tomorrow. We'll take a look at it again. But in the meantime, I hope you've all found this forecast useful. It's all a bit of fun, isn't it? Look after yourselves. Have a great afternoon, and ciao for now.